Have you ever felt like your mind just has a mind of its own? Like it's constantly running off somewhere you don't want it to go? Well, in this explainer, we're going to demystify the buzzword mindfulness and give you a super clear, practical roadmap to get started. No jargon, no mystery, just a straightforward guide to training your attention. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the journey we're going to take together. First, we'll nail down what mindfulness actually is. Then, we'll look at the incredible science of what it's doing to your brain. After that, I'll guide you through your very first practice. And finally, we'll talk about how to build this into a real, lasting habit.
So let's get right to it. What are we actually talking about when we say mindfulness? You know, it's a term you hear everywhere, but the core idea is actually incredibly simple and really, really powerful.
Does this feel familiar? You're trying to focus on just one thing, but your brain is off to the races. It's planning dinner, worrying about a deadline, or replaying that awkward conversation from yesterday. This constant chatter, this tendency to get lost in thought, is exactly what mindfulness helps us work with. This right here is the gold standard definition. Let's break it down real quick. On purpose means you're deciding to do it. It's an intentional act. In the present moment means you're right here, right now, not lost in the past or the future. And non-judgmentally? Well, that's the secret sauce. It means you're just observing your experience with kindness, not beating yourself up. Okay, let's just bust the biggest myth right now. Mindfulness is not about stopping your thoughts or trying to achieve a totally blank mind. Honestly, that's impossible. The actual practice, the real mental rep, is simply noticing that your mind has wandered and then gently and kindly guiding it back. That's it. Your mind wandering isn't a failure. It's the whole point. It's the opportunity to practice. And you know, while it feels very trendy and modern, this is an ancient skill. It has deep roots in Buddhist traditions, where it's known as Sati, which means awareness, but it also means remembering to be aware. Then, in the 1970s, it was adopted into the secular, evidence-based program called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, or MBSR, which made all its benefits accessible to everyone, from hospitals to boardrooms. So this all sounds pretty good, right? But what's actually happening in your head when you do this? Let's dive into the science, because the changes that happen are physical and totally measurable. This is where it gets really cool. Think of mindfulness as a workout for your brain's CEO. That's the prefrontal cortex. It's in charge of focus, decision-making, all that good stuff. Research shows that when you practice mindfulness consistently, you can actually increase the density in this area. You are literally physically building the part of your brain that helps you stay on task. And at the very same time, mindfulness helps chill out your amygdala, your brain's built-in alarm system. Studies show the amygdala can actually shrink and become less reactive. So what does that mean for you? It means you're less likely to get hijacked by stress and anxiety. You can respond to things more thoughtfully instead of just reacting. Okay, so here is the absolute game changer. It's this core skill called reperceiving. Basically, instead of being in the middle of a storm of thoughts and feelings, you learn to watch the storm from a safe distance. It's the difference between being caught in a sudden downpour of anxiety versus just noticing from your window, oh, look, it started to rain. You begin to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one who is aware of your thoughts. This one shift is the key to everything. And the real-world impact of this? It's clear, and the data backs it up. Clinical studies show some serious benefits. We're talking about a 12.6% greater reduction in anxiety symptoms and an incredible 19.2% greater reduction in symptoms of depression, all while boosting your overall sense of well-being. The numbers really do speak for themselves. All right, that is enough theory. The absolute best way to understand mindfulness is to actually experience it. So let's shift gears and do a simple, practical exercise that you can do, well, right now. Okay, let's walk through this together. First, just find a comfortable position. A chair's perfect, you don't need a special cushion or anything. Second, set a timer for just 2 to 5 minutes. That way you can relax and not worry about the time. Now for step 3, just bring your attention to the feeling of your own breath, wherever you feel it most. And here's the thing, your mind is going to wander, I guarantee it. And that brings us to step 4. When it does, just gently notice it. No judgment, no, I'm so bad at this. And finally, step 5, just gently escort your attention right back to your breath. That's the whole loop. You just do that again and again. And as you're starting out, just remember these 3 things. First, doing 5 minutes every single day is way more powerful than doing an hour once a week. Consistency is everything. Second,
Remember, when you notice your mind has wandered, you've just succeeded. That's the core exercise right there. And most important of all, be kind to yourself. There's no such thing as a perfect or bad meditation. You just show up. Okay, so you did your first 5 minutes. That's fantastic. Seriously. But how do you turn this one-time thing into a real skill that supports you every single day? Let's talk about building a sustainable habit. You want to think of it like physical fitness, right? You start small and you build up over time. So for the first couple of weeks, just focus on getting that 5 minutes in every day. Then maybe you start exploring other practices like a body scan or mindful walking. And over time, as it starts to feel right for you, you can gradually increase how long you sit. It really is a marathon, not a sprint. And look, you're definitely going to hit some roadblocks. Everybody does. If you're feeling way too restless to sit still, try a walking meditation instead. If you feel like you have absolutely no time, just use micro practices. Bring your full, undivided attention to one sip of your morning coffee. And if you start getting frustrated, just remind yourself of the real goal. It's not a perfectly empty mind. The goal is simply to be aware of what's happening right here, right now. And as you keep going, you'll discover this whole rich landscape of different practices. Some, like focusing on your breath, are all about building up your concentration muscle. Others, like just observing your thoughts, are for developing insight into how your mind actually works. And then there are practices like loving kindness meditation, which are designed to actively grow your capacity for compassion, for yourself and for others. There's always a new way to train your mind. So we'll end with this question. A lot of us go to the gym, we train our bodies to build strength and resilience. Mindfulness is just that, but for your mind. It's a trainable skill that builds your focus, your calm, and your insight one moment at a time. The only real question left is, when are you going to start?